we're just about done. Let's save this. Save project. Git status. Auto changes. Get out of here. Designed PCB. Ready for Gerber files. So what Gerber files are, they're basically the manufacturing files that you're going to send to the fab house, like PCBWay or whatever company is manufacturing your PCB. And those are the files that are standard that everyone uses and that they can use to create your board. And they're generated by Altium and also by different EDA softwares like Cadence, Allegro, Eagle, KiCad. They'll all generate these Gerber files as well. You just need to make sure you have them. So what you can do, they're going to show up under this generated document. We're going to go, you need to make sure you've selected your project, and you're inside your PCB. You go File, Fabrication Outputs, Gerber files. In the Gerber files, you can pick whichever units you want. I usually leave it as inches, whatever the standard is. Layers, you need to make sure you select your layers to plot. So top overlay is the silk screen, top paste is your solder paste, top solder is your actual copper openings, top layer your connections, bottom layer, bottom solder, bottom paste. We have bottom overlay, and then we use mechanical 13 and 15. Remember our board outline file? Board outline was a mechanical 13. Sometimes people create their own new layer for the board outline, but that doesn't matter. So we added all these. Drill drawing. We can generate the drill file separately. These are all usually fine. Just hit OK. Cool. So this is sort of like a viewer for the Gerber files. You can see like they split it into all the different layers. So GBL, GBO. This is a bottom layer. This is bottom layer overlay. Bottom layer paste. There's no parts components on the bottom, so we could have left this one out. Bottom layer solder. There are through-hole components on the bottom. Mechanical. You can see the parts on the top and the outline. Here's the other mechanical one showing the outline of all the parts. Top layer overlay. Top layer paste, so for all the surface mount components, and top layer solder for surface mount and also for through hole. So you can see here actually, like, to be careful because these are kind of close, so they might accidentally short together. So when you're creating, you need to make sure that they're not too close. Our solder paste will help us here, or solder mask, sorry, because it'll help not join them together. But you need to be careful with these things. Actually, in this case, it's okay since they're actually the same net, so you want them to be connected. But if it were to be close to some other pad, then you need to be a little careful. So we're looking good. There's one more step. We just need to do File, Fabrication Outputs, Drill files. You need the Gerber files and also your drill. Hit OK. This will show all the holes in your PCB for them to figure out where to drill through. It's a separate machine. So we don't need these Camtastic files. Can remove them. Yeah, but what we need are all these documents. So if I save this and I look in my folder, so we're hardware 555 tutorial. We're gonna look at this project outputs for 555. You can see we have all those same file extensions in here, as well as this drill report now that we just generated, 701. And what you're going to do is basically zip this into its own zip file, and then you're going to upload that to your manufacturer's website, and they'll be able to generate or create the board for you, manufacture it. One final thing, just for completion's sake, we usually like to also have a PDF version of our schematic. So you can do this file, export, smart PDF actually. Next, current project. I usually like to do the schematic and the PCB in one. And bill of materials is also a good idea to export just so you have it. That looks good. All standard. Color for schematics as well. Open PDF. 555. Yeah, looks good. So if we open it, we should see this PDF now of our schematic, also the PCB. This is like a trying to show the bomb. Doesn't look very good. And we should have, if your bomb doesn't show up, I guess they tried to put it in the PDF, it didn't work so well. You can just export it manually. Next report, there you go. Bill of materials is in reports, so hit that. So you need to make sure you output your gerbers, your drill file, and you'll zip those together and send it to manufacturer. And then also output a PDF of your schematic and board and a bill of materials as well, so it'll show exactly what you've used. And file format Excel is the way to go. Export 555 bomb, and I usually just put it straight in the main folder. Cool, you can see it now. 555 bomb. This is one of the reasons why we wanted to create all those parts from scratch using the DigiKey part search, because then we have component or comments, which is the component, description of it, designator, footprint, reference in the library, and also the quantity and how many we've used of each. So it's pretty nice. You can add more columns as well if you want. So that's it. We finally finished. Save project. So you can see like your project has expanded a ton now. We have source document, schematic PDF. We have some settings for the output job. We have component libraries and footprints. We have generated manufacturing documents. This is a design rule check document if you want to use, if you do a design rule check. So in your PCB you would do like tools design rule check. It's all based on you setting your rules inside this rule section. If you don't mess with them, you'll get a lot of errors. And you can run it to see exactly what errors you get. Like if we do one, run design rule check. We'll see a ton of errors here, or warnings and rule violations. So this is the unplated multi-layer pads. This is our manufacturing, our mounting holes. And actually, now that I think about it, if you're connecting it to this ground plane, it doesn't make sense for it to not be plated. It makes more sense for it to just not be connected to anything. And if you do connect it to the ground plane, then you should plate it. That's okay for now. And then a lot of other rule violations. Luckily, none of the vital ones have been violated, but something like solder mask slivers, silk to solder mask, kind of warnings. Maybe the silk won't turn out so good based on your manufacturer specifications. So what you should do is go through all your rules based on what your manufacturer determines is allowable and start modifying them based on what you like. So you can also do like spacing and stuff like that. You can create your own rules. So it's really helpful. We know what components are in our project, and then we have all our nets. It's awesome. So we're done now. Let's save. And let's add everything. Added a lot of things now. We can commit and say finish PCB. I already did it last time. Generated gerber files, drill files, schematic, PDF, and bomb. Perfect. Push. And we're done. Thanks, guys.